Power never announces itself with violence. It arrives politely, wearing the language of necessity, of order, of survival. Before power takes lives, before it breaks laws, before it silences voices, it kills something far more dangerous. Morality. Not all at once, not loudly, but carefully, strategically. Because morality is the only force that power cannot fully control. Morality asks uncomfortable questions. It whispers, should we? When power demands, we must. And that whisper, that hesitation is intolerable. So power begins where resistance is weakest, in the mind. First, morality is reframed. Cruelty becomes efficiency. Lies become strategy. Injustice becomes stability. Words are polished. Edges are softened. And suddenly, what once felt wrong now feels necessary. Power does not argue with morality. It redefines it. Then comes the most dangerous shift. Responsibility is outsourced. No one says, I chose this. They say, I had no choice. I was following orders. It's bigger than me. And just like that, guilt dissolves into procedure. History repeats this pattern endlessly. History repeats this pattern endlessly. Empires did not collapse because they lacked morals. They collapsed because they explained them away. Every great injustice was once justified with calm voices. Clean documents. And confident smiles. Evil rarely looks like rage. More often, it looks like administration. That male power understands something terrifyingly well. People can live with almost anything, as long as they don't feel responsible for it. So morality is not destroyed, it is displaced, pushed upward, abstracted, removed from human hands. And that is the first death. Not of ethics, but of ownership. Because the moment no one feels responsible, anything becomes possible. But this is only the beginning. Because once morality is weakened, power no longer needs to fight truth. It only needs to manage it. Once morality is weakened, I've power does something even more dangerous. It doesn't ask for cruelty. It asks for obedience. Not blind obedience. Moral obedience. Power reframes submission as character. Obedient people are called good. Compliant people are called responsible. Silent people are called mature. And those who resist, they are labeled unstable, radical, dangerous. This is how obedience becomes virtue. Not through force, but through praise. You are rewarded not for being right, but for being aligned. Not for thinking, but for agreeing at the correct moment, Aye. Soon, people stop asking, is this right? They ask, is this allowed? Is this expected? Will this cost me? And morality becomes a compass, becomes a checklist. Power loves rules. Not because rules create justice, but because rules create cover. A rule can be followed even when it destroys a human being. And when harm occurs, the answer is always ready. It was within the rules. This is the quiet genius of power. It trains people to obey first and feel later. To comply today and regret tomorrow. The most loyal servants of power are not monsters. They are ordinary people. Because obedience removes friction. It smooths conscience. It numbs doubt. It turns moral hesitation into a flaw to be corrected. Power does not fear rebels as much as it fears those who hesitate, those who pause, those who say, so hesitation is mocked. Doubt is pathologized. Questions are treated as threats. And eventually, people begin to police themselves. They censor their thoughts before anyone else has to. They defend systems that quietly erode them. They call it loyalty. They call it adulthood. But deep down, something remains unsettled. A tension, a silence that grows louder at night. Because obedience may protect you from punishment, but it cannot protect you from truth. And this is where power faces its greatest risk. Because obedience can be taught. But conscience cannot be erased.